Good morning. Here we're at the Cumberland Mine Railroad here, February 13th, 2021. We're going to head out on the track and snowy, cold day here in southwestern Pennsylvania. I got my men working my safety. I got a strobe up there. Turn it on when I go out on track. I've also called the train, let him know that it's got a red track behind him. We're at Bridge 14, crossing over the Alicia Road that goes down to Alicia. Down at the bottom of the hill there is where we load the barges at. Got some, I don't know if you can see that, you got a flock of geese flying up there. All kind of things to see out here. Our track speed through here is 10 mile an hour. This is curve 62. We have actually 17 miles. I have a lot of questions that people have asked me. We have actually about 17 miles of track total. There's two runaround tracks, one on either end of the track, up at the loadout and down here at the harbor. And 17 miles of track, we have 75 curves. Most of the highest degree curve we have is 13 degrees on the main line, and we do have a 14 degree curve on accepted track up there at the loadout. But a good many, probably over half of our curves are 7 degrees or higher. United States Steel Engineering, United States Steel opened this mine, Cumberland Mine, in 1974. They started. The track was built in 75 and 76. The United States Steel had opened this mine. They were going to sell coal. There's a deer up there. Can you see him? Deer in the middle of the track. You can see all kind of neat stuff out here on the track. We're at, this is milepost 16. This is an old crossing for the Robina mine. They hauled slate up over the hill. Everything is a huge, humongous slate pile up in there. They hauled the slate up from the Robina mine with the pans, those old scrapers. Post 16. But there's some more deer. Nice. And 6 of them there. Sometimes we see a lot of deer out here, and sometimes we don't see any at all. So, where was that? Oh yeah, the United States Steel opened this for Ontario Hydro in Canada, they had a fleet of Stumbo barges. They hold about 1,100 to 1,200 tons in the Stumbo barges. An entire fleet was built for this mine, along with 3 river boats. That's the Monongahela River we have down here. That's where they went. The boats were called the Iron Pacer, the Iron Traveler, and the Iron Charger. And all 3 of those river boats were built in 1976. So, a little bit of history. I'll tell you this, in United States Steel, I hired in August 1st, 1977. When I hired in, I was number 63 on the seniority list. That's the Monongahela River down there, if you can see it. Across the river is Norfolk Southern tracks. It used to be the old Monongahela Railroad. It's now Norfolk Southern.
Hello, Erie Land.
That's it.
Yeah, 10-4, but anybody, I'm going to make a pass for you here. I just loaded a couple. Unless you hear from me, just come on in easy, okay?
They're talking to the train up there at the loadout. That's what that guy's talking about on the radio. Where was I at? I hired in here at August 1st, 1977. I was number 63 on the seniority list. And about a year and a half ago, I'm number 1 in seniority here at the coal mine. The coal mine employs right around 700 people total. That's union and management, and there are 467 union employees. So I'm number 1, and that entitles me to 0 more pay. But I could bid on any job pretty much, other than an electrician, you know, or a welder. I'm not qualified to do that, but I could have any job at the mine I want. But the job I want is the railroad. I love this railroad. Really fortunate to be able to work here that many years. I hired in as a dockman on the river, and over the years I became a dockman, and I was also a loader operator, loaded barges for like 10 years. But when I was on the river, whenever we had extra days we'd work on the weekends, or we had shutdowns like for miners' vacation or longwall moves, we'd always be out here working on the track extra. So been on the track for that long, and then about the last 18 years I've been full-time track maintenance. A couple guys people had asked about the different companies that own this. This is curve 60. This is actually the first curve that I tamped by myself way back. This Freightliner truck we're in, my high rail truck, is 19 years old. So it's got 74,000 miles on it. It's still in pretty decent shape. It's got a Mercedes engine in it, a little Mercedes engine. Okay, the guys right now, when they're coming out, they're transitioning from the 10 mile an hour to the 25, so they're going about 15 or so in here. Going to be track speed 25 here on the other side of this crossing coming up. But anyway, let's see. United States Steel kept this mine until 1993. In 93, Cypress AMAX took over, and that's when we got our CYMX aluminum cars. We started out with United States Steel hopper cars. They were the bottom discharge hopper cars. They were all steel cars. We had a fleet of 40 of those, brand new here. They were pretty blue, and they had the white United States Steel insignia on each of the cars. They were pretty neat. So anyway, from Cypress we went to, in 1999, to RAG American Coal Company. And in 2004 we transferred to Foundation Coal. In 2009 we were taken over by Alpha Natural Resources. In 2016 it was Contura Energy that owned us. And here, just the first of the year, we've been purchased by a new company called, a company that was formed just for this mine, was Iron Synergy. So anyway, right now we're the third largest coal mine in the state of Pennsylvania. Bailey and Enlow Fork are number 1 and number 2. They're also in Greene County here. So in Greene County, we've got the 3 largest coal mines, deep mines in the state of Pennsylvania. This is a Robina hard road crossing. It was the access road to go down to the Robina mining complex. That was quite a story. That Robina was built in 1940s by the United States Steel, paid for by the U.S. government to mine coal for the World War II. For the steel. Way over there, this is everything way around. This is owned by Robina, United States Steel, and those are huge ponds over there for the mine water. And just, I don't know how big they are, but they're huge. All of this is United States Steel. But that was the axle. We did have a working set of crossing signals there when we started, but when they shut the mine down, the crossing signals were no longer needed. It's just a private road, and only security guards and few people. That's milepost 15.5 we're at. We're headed west. So a couple other people who wanted to know what kind of tonnage we run, and last year we mined 6.6 million tons, and that's pretty doggone good for a single longwall mine. And we're all hoping we have a wonderful future here. Our new owners are optimistic about the future of the coal. For 2021, we've got just around 6.5 to 6.6 million tons already sold, and they tell me that in 2022 they have part of that year sold already too. So that would be wonderful, just wonderful. We do have we do mine the Pittsburgh seam. It's a high BTU, low sulfur steam coal, and it's about 6 foot high. And the depth of the seam underground, it varies all over the place. The seam doesn't run flat. It's got hills and it's got valleys, the coal seam underground, and also the topography on top of the ground. So our seam varies anywhere from 700 to 1,200 feet deep. And the guys that work underground, I've never worked underground, but the guys tell me when you're down 1,000 to 1,200 feet underground, the pressure on the ribs, that's the sides of the entryway or whatever, where their mine is, just incredible, and that the ribs will just pop out. They tell me it sounds like a shotgun going off. So it's pretty wild. Anyway, originally the coal was taken by barge from here on the Monongahela to Duquesne. That's near Pittsburgh. It was put on the Union Rail, and that Union Rail took it to Conneaut, Ohio. They took it over their own tracks, Union Rail. They also ran over Bessemer and Lake Erie tracks. And, at Conneaut, the original coal was put on freighters and taken across Lake Erie. So, give you a little bit of history of the Cumberland mine here, and a little bit of history of the railroad. There's a lot more I could talk about, but I'm going to head on up the track here today to make sure everything stays together. Watching for broken joint bars and missing broken bolts, and I'm going to do another video in the future when all this snow gets off of here on how to do a track inspection. So that'll be pretty comprehensive. I'll tell you what I'm looking for and what I do when I make these track inspections. I am required to make track inspections 1 time a week. This is Class 2 track. Track speed is 25 miles an hour, but I am required once a week by the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 49, and the track safety standards in there. In the winter time and in very hot weather, we like to run we do more. We go over and above the requirements of the law. Usually here in the winter when it's cold, I'll run track 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times a week. There's a lot of weight goes over this track. Things break all the time, and try to keep ahead of it and prevent derailments. This is railroading. I love it. It's really cool to come out here and be able to ride the tracks, and I'm very, very fortunate, very blessed to have this job, and very thankful for it. And also, I'm very thankful for all you guys that watch these videos and all the great comments you put out. I do thank you for that. It does mean a lot to me. Have a really great day, and I will catch you on the next video. I got a lot planned for this year. A lot of really cool stuff planned.